The internet search engine Google has admitted accidentally copying household computer passwords and emails. The information from wireless networks was collected when its vehicles drove around residential streets, taking photographs for its worldwide Street View programme. It's not known whether UK homes are affected by the breach. Earlier, Google's spokesman Peter Barron explained what action the company was taking to remedy the mistake.
We've never used this data for any Google product, and we never will use it, and our top priority now is to delete it, and we're working very closely with the authorities to make sure it is deleted. We're also determined to learn the lessons from this mistake, so in recent months we've been working very hard on our privacy procedures, and we've just announced that we have appointed a new director of privacy. We've also announced tougher measures on training and on compliance.
Well, let's get more on this from our technology reporter, Daniel Emery. They weren't using it for any Google product, as we just heard Peter Barron say. So why were they needing to gather this information in the first place?
Well, it's not being used for a Google product, but the thinking behind it at the time was it might have been used for a Google product. When Street View, they started coming up with the idea of basically mapping your streets and taking pictures of everywhere. It was about sort of 3-4 years ago, and GPS wasn't very prevalent, and certainly it was still quite an expensive bit of kit. So what they were looking for was how can you map where somebody is on the map without relying on satellites? And the idea was basically that they would plot you by using the signal strengths from different wireless networks, and they can work out roughly where you are. If one to the right of you is 10 strength, the other was 6 strength, you were about there. So it was basically a mapping system to find out where you physically were on the map by using wireless.
But one would think in that case it's almost like walking around with a mobile phone and watching how the bars go. Why would it be necessary to actually look into the computer and pick out emails and passwords?
Well, that's a very good question, and that's certainly the question I would imagine the Information Commissioner will be asking. I mean, in July, the Information Commissioner said that while data had been collected, it wasn't significant, and it certainly wasn't data that would have them alarmed. Google's admission now that actually it seems there was more than just random fragments. There were people's emails, URLs to places, stuff that actually would link somebody to something, has then made the Information Commissioner saying we're going to reassess this. Bear in mind that Google investigated in a number of different countries across Europe and in the United States and in the Far East about harvesting this data. Certainly they've said they shouldn't have done it, it was a mistake, and they've fessed up. But of course, quite what that data is and how much they've got and who it belongs to is stuff that the different authorities in all these countries are looking into right now.
And the fact that they were able to do it, I mean, credit to them. I'm sure that they're a reputable company. They've fessed up and admitted it. But there could be some people of slightly less well repute who might, want to do this kind of thing. And could anyone go ahead and do it?
If you don't secure your network up, then yes, anyone could, or certainly it'd be quite easy to hack into you and find out what you're doing. I mean, these days now, everyone puts passwords on their wireless network and ultimately, because you're paying for this stuff and you don't want someone else leeching off you. But yes, a couple of years ago, certainly people weren't that concerned about it. It was like, the old days people used to leave the front door of their homes unlocked. Today, nobody would do that. It was like that when Wi-Fi first came along. People didn't really feel the need to secure it. Now, I think very, very few people wouldn't lock their system down.
So the moral of the story is be safe.
Don't trust anyone.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Daniel.